5 times.
The situation where he shot her though, like, do you know now, like, what it was about or what happened?
Well, because my mom didn't want to be with her.
LA always has wild tension in the city, but a Rollin 40s member named X4 is now stirring up major drama that's catching a lot of attention. Even after beating a serious legal case, he didn't hit the brakes. And today, we're unpacking his entire unbelievable story. X4 had a tough come-up in LA, and the chaos around him started way before he even knew what was happening. X4's parents were both involved in the streets and had constant issues with each other. Things got so bad that when his mom tried to walk away, his dad lost control and did something that changed everything. He completely snapped during an argument and seriously injured her. Miraculously, she survived, but his dad ended up serving major time because of it. After that, X4's mom wasn't really around much either, which left him surrounded by relatives who were still deep in that same rough environment. His entire family was caught in the middle of street life. And then came an even more tragic moment when X4's brother Dante lost his life because of what seems like one big misunderstanding. People say Dante was connected with the 7-4 Hoovers, but one night he went outside wearing his aunt's sweatshirt, and that tiny decision turned tragic. The sweatshirt had a 4-leaf clover symbol, which represents the Rollin 40s, and that tiny detail ended up causing serious confusion that led to his passing. Dante had only stepped out to make a quick purchase, but he accidentally crossed into an area controlled by a rival crew. According to reports, a few people from another set thought he was part of the Rollin 40s, and that's when things went horribly wrong. It's a sad and powerful reminder of how fast things can go left in LA.
If you a certain type of y'all gonna always, you know, connect. Real type of from everywhere connect. So it don't matter just because they op on hood. It's like I said, it's real over there too.
But could you be cool with them outside of the jail situation?
I don't know, cuz. I don't know, on the dead homies. That I was cool with, cuz in prison, that was really like my boys type shit on the dead homies. And just based off that, when I see you on the street, I won't smoke you, cuz. But I wouldn't just chill with you though, on the dead homies, cuz you still from Snoop.
When signs get misread and emotions run high, LA never runs out of chaos. But right now, a Rollin 40s member named X4 is at the center of some serious street tension that's got everyone talking. Even after getting cleared from a big legal situation, he didn't slow down one bit. And today, we're diving into his wild, unpredictable story. X4 had a rough start growing up in LA, surrounded by non-stop drama long before he even understood what was going on. X4's parents were both tied up in the streets and constantly clashing with each other. Things reportedly got so heated that when his mom tried to leave, his dad made a terrible decision. He completely lost control during an argument and ended up seriously hurting her. Somehow, she pulled through, but his dad ended up serving major time because of it. After that, X4's mom wasn't really around much either, which left him surrounded by relatives who were still deep in that same rough environment. His entire family was caught in the middle of street life. And then came an even more tragic moment when X4's brother Dante lost his life because of what seems like one big misunderstanding. People say Dante was connected with the 7-4 Hoovers, but one night he went outside wearing his aunt's sweatshirt, and that tiny decision turned tragic. The sweatshirt had a 4-leaf clover symbol.
But it be like 30. Damn. 30 fades? Like 30. Now out of all 30, how many you win? Feel me? How many you lose?
And camp angles, no fades.
Which represents the Rollin 40s, and that tiny detail ended up causing serious confusion that led to his passing. Dante had only stepped out to make a quick purchase, but he accidentally crossed into an area controlled by a rival crew. According to reports, a few people from another set thought he was part of the Rollin 40s, and that's when things went horribly wrong. It's a sad and powerful reminder of how fast things can go left in LA when signs get misread and emotions run high. X4 ended up sitting down for about 4 years, and what made things even worse was that he was already behind bars for another robbery case. When the new charges came through, the authorities didn't combine everything into one. They waited until he was convicted of the first, then hit him with the second, stacking up his record even more. That move meant X4 would have 2 serious strikes instead of 1, making his situation way tougher. He was originally supposed to serve 6 years, but somehow he got out early and made his way back home in 2022. And the first thing he did was jump right back into the music scene. His name started heating up fast with tracks like Tiny Little Freestyle Part 4, where he dropped raw lyrics that had everyone talking. 4 years ain't changed nothing. I'm still with it.
So you telling me a nigga would play with the and blew his shit off? They ain't homies. Blew his hand off, cuz? Come on, cuz. Nigga told you not to play with them explosives, cuz. The West Side Police. Yeah, those. He wearing them explosives off the back.
Stop saying you spun with the switch, cause no you didn't. She said, "Hey babe, what you want for Christmas?" I said, "Just a lawyer, so he can handle all the business." X4 moved quietly for someone who was rumored to be heavily involved in street life, but people definitely noticed his bold style once he came home and started making noise in the rap game. One detail that caught fans off guard, he proudly wore colors tied to rival groups. In LA, that's not something people do lightly. After X4 came home and started dropping music again, his buzz only got louder. Every new track had the streets talking, and social media was eating it up. People couldn't tell if he was making art or sending coded messages through his lyrics, but either way, the attention was non-stop. Fans were praising his raw delivery, while others claimed he was stirring up tension with certain bars that sounded way too personal. As his name got bigger, X4 started hanging around some well-known LA artists and influencers. Photos of him popping out at local events started floating around online, and it didn't take long for drama to follow. Word spread that some people from rival neighborhoods weren't too happy seeing him get that kind of spotlight. Instead of backing off, X4 seemed to lean into it, posting clips in certain areas, flashing his jewelry, and rapping about staying solid no matter who had something to say. But not everything was smooth sailing. In one viral live stream, fans pointed out that X4 looked like he was being followed right after leaving a studio session.
After we scrubbed it up, we chopped it up. Be like, "Oh, this like I'm 18." Like, well, I'm like 29. Like, do that every time. You can go to the game. Like, do that every time. Do that in the county, you'll be straight. Don't turn down nothing. I don't care how big they is, how old they is. Do that every time.
That clip racked up thousands of views, sparking rumors that the tension in the streets was getting real again. X4 didn't address the situation directly, but he dropped another song just days later with bars that seemed to reference the incident, saying he's never scared to stand on business. It's clear that X4's rise to fame hasn't come without pressure. He's balancing the music industry and street expectations all at once, and every move he makes seems to add another layer to his already unpredictable story. Some Hoover sets are known for wearing orange, so when X4 rocks that same color, even with bold tattoos on his face representing his side, he's definitely making a strong statement. X4 also built a reputation for being tough in fights, claiming he ran about 30 fades while in juvenile detention and never really took a loss. But things took a turn when he got sent to county jail for the first time at just 18. That's where X4 came face to face with a 29-year-old from another neighborhood, and they ended up scrapping. This time, X4 took the loss, but instead of letting it break him, he actually connected with the guy afterwards. They talked, squashed it, and X4 picked up some real knowledge from the situation. It was one of those moments that showed how fast things can switch up behind those walls. While locked up, X4 said he built connections with people from all kinds of neighborhoods, even ones that normally wouldn't get along. He mentioned they were guys he was cool with on the inside that he wouldn't normally hang with on the outside, just because of where they were from. It showed how complicated the street politics really are once you step outside that environment. Even though X4 is allegedly still active in his scene, lately he's been making headlines for starting drama within his own circle. One of the biggest names repping the Rollin 40s right now is 4 Extra.
Walked in the county jail, Crip. Walked in that motherfucker like neighbor 40s. And I didn't even give a fuck if my shoe was in there. Dead on my bin, walked in the courtine, Crip.
Who blew up online after doing viral interviews on No Jumper and pushing his catchy phrase, "off the back." He even turned it into a full track where he rapped, "Off the back, they know I'm crippin'. Off the back, I'm really trippin'. They know I got it on me. Off the back, I ain't slippin'. Yeah, I'm from West Side 40s. They call me 4 Extra, and you know I keep it spot." 4 Extra reportedly got brought into the set when he was just 11 and has been in and out of lockup ever since, living that life from day one. The Rollin 40s and Rollin 60s may be cool with each other today, but back in the day, things were way different. When 4 Extra was on the come up, there was major tension between the two sets. and he even caught serious legal charges connected to a high-profile case involving 2 members from the 60s. It was a wild time in LA history that shaped both his name and reputation in the streets. 4 Extra comes from the dark side clique of the Rollin 40s. Their territory sits right next to the Parkside clique, where X4 is from. Word is, the dark side crew were the ones who originally sparked the issues with the 60s. According to street rumors, a guy from the dark side, known as Tiny Crip Crazy, got into a one-on-one fight with someone from the 60s over a woman. After the fight, the guy from the 60s allegedly came back and took Tiny Crip Crazy's life, and that's when the real tension began. But even before that happened,
that song with Kendrick ain't changed shit. The niggas that changed, I'm still from 40, I'm still over here. You act like I got $1 million for that shit. The engineer got some clout.
there was already friction building behind the scenes. The 60s had ties with the Rollin 30s, and when the 30s and 40s were feuding, it only made things worse. Once everything popped off, things got dangerous fast, and both sides took heavy hits before some of the OGs finally stepped in to cool things down. Since then, many of those older heads have worked to keep the peace between their sets, trying to prevent history from repeating itself. Now though, the Rollin 40s are reportedly dealing with problems inside their own camp. X4 and 4 Extra used to be close, but new rumors suggest a brewing rap feud might shake things up from within. Nobody knows the full story yet, but word on the street is it started over something small, possibly some back and forth about streaming numbers and who's really running the scene right now. Things really started heating up when X4 and 4 Extra began throwing shade at each other on social media. X4 dropped a few slick posts that made it sound like he was talking about 4 Extra's girlfriend, and at the same time, he was allegedly trying to trademark Off the Back, basically to stop 4 Extra from using his own catchphrase. That move had everyone talking, especially when both of them ended up locked up in county around the same time. Fans instantly thought they were going to run into each other and handle things face to face, but that's not what happened. Word on the street was that X4 was ducking 4 Extra inside, and rumors started flying everywhere. When 4 Extra got released, he jumped on No Jumper and cleared the air, saying X4 never actually got the trademark for Off the Back. He also claimed they were placed in different parts of the jail, so they never crossed paths. Still, 4 Extra made it sound like X4 was avoiding the fade, even though he never directly said it. Just when things seemed like they couldn't get more chaotic, something wild happened that nobody expected. 4 Extra, who had been going a little viral for his interviews, ended up in the headlines for a shocking accident. While messing around with fireworks, things went wrong and he seriously injured his hand. The story blew up online instantly, with fans and artists from all over showing support and wishing him a fast recovery. But instead of showing sympathy, X4 doubled down on the beef and started cracking jokes about the situation from jail, which only made the drama worse. To make things even more intense, some people online began clowning 4 Extra after his sister launched a GoFundMe to help cover his hospital bills. It was a messy moment that proved the tension between X4 and 4 Extra wasn't just for the internet, it was very real. After the wild situation with 4 Extra's accident, the internet went crazy. Memes, rumors, and reactions were everywhere. Some fans were clowning, while others were calling out people for being insensitive. Meanwhile, X4 kept adding fuel to the fire from behind bars, dropping little comments that made everyone think the feud wasn't anywhere close to being over. The beef had officially moved beyond music. It had turned into a full-blown public spectacle that everyone was watching. When 4 Extra finally healed up and got back online, he didn't waste time responding. He went live on Instagram, calling out X4 for being fake and talking tough from jail. Clips of that live stream spread like wildfire. Fans couldn't stop debating who was really running the Rollin 40s scene. X4 still had major street credibility and a loyal fan base that backed him heavy, but 4 Extra was gaining even more attention thanks to his viral moments and comeback energy. Behind the scenes, some OGs and respected names from the neighborhood were reportedly trying to calm things down, saying the back and forth was making the set look divided, but neither side wanted to back off. Both X4 and 4 Extra were too deep in the spotlight, and neither wanted to look weak in front of their supporters. Then, just when fans thought things might finally cool down, X4 dropped a new freestyle straight from jail. The verse was raw, direct, and full of bars that everyone assumed were aimed at 4 Extra. He didn't say any names, but the timing made it obvious. Social media lit up instantly, with fans dissecting every line, turning the feud into one of the biggest talking points in Lay's underground rap scene. It's clear that the tension between these two isn't slowing down anytime soon, and with both of them chasing fame and respect, it feels like this story is only getting started. People online started calling 4 Extra broke, so he jumped right back on social media, flexing all his jewelry, even with his hands still in the cast. But the drama didn't stop there. X4's brother, Tiny Hoods the Foot, decided to jump into the mix too, calling out 4 Extra and saying he wasn't really representing the Rollin 40s like that. Tiny Hoods isn't just some random name. He's actually well known in LA and made headlines years ago for one of the wildest stories the city's ever heard.
Back in 2012, Tiny Hoods and a few of his homies pulled off a major bank robbery that had the whole city talking. During the getaway, police were chasing them all through town, and in a shocking twist, Tiny Hoods started tossing cash out of the car window, literally throwing money into the streets while sirens were blaring behind him. People were stunned, and that footage ended up making national news. But the story didn't end well. One of the guys who was with him ended up cooperating with the authorities, and that's how Tiny Hoods got hit with a heavy sentence, landing him 33 years behind bars. He's still locked up today and won't be home for a long time. And now, it's looking like X4 might be facing a similar situation soon. In 2025, reports came out saying that X4 had been booked on a robbery charges after allegedly targeting a music producer alongside 2 friends. According to police documents, the incident happened inside a studio while the producer was working on some edits. The group allegedly took his jewelry and left, but what made it worse, the entire thing was reportedly caught on camera. Since X4 was already on probation at the time, this new case could spell big trouble for him. It's not the first time he's faced legal issues since his 2022 release, but this one might be the hardest to bounce back from, especially with video evidence said to be in play. In 2024, X4 ended up back in trouble after his ex called the authorities on him, though details of what really went down are still unclear. It's also not confirmed whether that situation was still ongoing when he later caught his robbery charge. X4 and the Rollin 40s have long had a reputation for being active in the streets, but X4 wanted to change that image and make a name for himself in rap. Still, no matter how hard he tried to move forward, drama always seemed to follow him wherever he went. He's not the only one from his area dealing with that kind of setback either. Another rapper from the same scene, Dante 6, came home after doing 7 years behind bars and looked like he was about to blow up. He even got a major cosign from Kendrick Lamar, who put him on a track that had fans going wild. His name was everywhere for a minute, but soon after that big moment, things took a dark turn. Rumors started spreading that Dante was struggling with addiction and that some people in his own circle were distancing themselves from him. Word online was that he got disciplined by members of his own crew and even had his chain taken by someone close to him. A huge fall from grace after such a promising comeback. A lot of fans were heartbroken, especially after Dante 6 went live on Instagram and spoke on everything himself. He admitted that the Kendrick feature didn't really change his life the way people thought it would. He said it brought him attention, but not stability. Despite all the fame, Dante revealed he was still struggling to stay on his feet and at one point was even dealing with homelessness. It was a sobering reminder of how fast the music industry can lift someone up and just as quickly leave them behind. After Dante 6's heartbreaking confession on Live, a lot of fans started realizing just how rough things were behind the scenes for rappers coming out of LA's street culture. Fame, clout, and viral moments might look glamorous from the outside, but for many of these artists, it's a constant struggle between survival and success. And for X4, that same pressure seems to be hitting harder than ever. While sitting in jail waiting on his latest case, X4 has been trying to keep his music alive. Clips of him freestyling on phone calls started circulating online, and fans were shocked at how raw and emotional his verses sounded. He rapped about betrayal, loyalty, and the streets turning cold, like a man who's been through too much but still refuses to fold. His supporters say he's using music to cope with everything he's lost, while critics claim he's still too caught up in the chaos that keeps dragging him down. At the same time, 4 Extra has been back outside, performing at local venues and rebuilding his image after his accident. Despite all the drama and jokes that came his way, he's been staying consistent, proving he's still one of the most entertaining and unpredictable rappers out of his section. But with X4's name buzzing again, fans can't help but compare the two, almost like LA's split between who they think really represents the Rollin 40s legacy. Even with all the controversy, both artists have made it clear that they're not backing down. Every new post, freestyle, or live stream just adds more fuel to their story. And if there's one thing everyone in LA knows, it's that in this game, attention is power. Things got even crazier when Adam 22 from No Jumper got pulled into the mix. X4 and Dottie 6 had some heated exchanges in the DMs, and Adam ended up posting parts of their conversation online. In those messages, Dottie sounded frustrated, saying he felt like people in the industry had turned their backs on him, especially Kendrick Lamar, who he thought would reach out after giving him a shot on that track. Fans were split, some feeling bad for Dottie, others thinking he was just venting the wrong way. The Rollin 40s have always been one of LA's most recognized street sets, but it's wild how every time someone from their section seems ready to break into the mainstream, something unexpected happens to throw it all off. Whether it's legal problems, inner beef, or just bad luck, it always seems like success slips right through their fingers at the last second. A lot of people believed X4 could have been the one to finally take it all the way. He's got talent, presence, and a story that had fans hooked from day one. But with these constant cases and his ongoing feud with 4 Extra, his future in the rap game is uncertain. Will he bounce back stronger, or will the street drama keep holding him down? If you made it this far, let me know what you think about this whole story. Do you believe X4 can turn things around, or is it already too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because there's always more wild stories coming your way.